least we'll be in.
30% are going to be a challenge for you. All right, so let me show you how easy number 1 is. Number 1 says secant squared x minus 1. Look at your formula sheet. Find the Pythagorean identity that says secant squared x minus 1, and what does it equal?
10.
That's your answer. 10 squared. That's all you do. All right, if you can't find that, I will show you. Hannah, do I need to show you where that is? All right, Nathan, you good? Willie, all you got to do is look for secant squared x minus 1. It's right here. And just write down what it equals. It equals tangent squared, so you're done. Secant squared x minus 1 equals tangent squared. Does anybody need me to show you?
No,
That's
sir.
so. Did you find it? Yep, that's all you need. All right, anybody got a question on 1 before we go to 2? Now, y'all are going to have some questions on this. That's fine. Just raise your hand. All right, look at number 2. All right, so Hannah, the first thing you do on these problems is check your formula sheet. Anytime you got a 1 and something squared involved, it's probably going to be a Pythagorean identity. Look at number 2. You don't have anything squared. So our second rule, Jason, anything that's not a sine or a cosine, change it into sine and cosine. What I mean by that is, what can I change tangent into? Look on the board.
Secant.
Hold on. Tangent changes into sine over cosine. All right, now look. These right here that I have on the board are also on the top of your formula sheet. We have to when we start. All right, I'll say it again. Ariana, if you have something in your problem, if it's not written as sine or cosine, you look at the board and you change it. So we change tangent into sine over cosine. So now we got to change cotangent into cosine over sine. All right, that's what we have. Answer is going to be 1. How did he get 1 out of that? All right, let's look. So from here, Mariana, from here, you can cross stuff out if it's on the diagonal. I can cross this sine out with this sine. I can cross this cosine out with this cosine. Everything canceled out. So you have a 1 left over. Your answer is 1. All right, you ready for 3? All right, I'm skipping 3 for right now because it's one of the harder problems. So we'll come back to 3. Let's keep doing the easy problems. Let's let y'all build up some confidence in this. All right, number 4. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, Jason, every time you got something squared, plus or minus, you're going to check your formula sheet and see if we can find where cosecant squared x minus cotangent squared x is.
Bam, it's right there.
Where's that?
It's a 1.
Bottom 9.
There it is,
So
bottom right.
boy.
Cosecant squared minus cotangent is 1. So Willie, watch how easy this problem is going to be.
It's just 2
Since that
times
equals 1, it's just 2 times 1,
Which
so
is
my
2.
answer is 2. So again, a lot of these problems I'm going to give y'all are going to be so easy. But there's some like number 3, number 8, that are going to be a challenge. All right, let's go to 5. 5's another easy one. All right, Nathan White, I don't have anything that's got a square, so I can't use my formula sheet. So the next thing I have to do, if it's not written as a sine or a cosine, I got to change it.
Cosine of x.
So Willie, what do I change cosecant into? Look at the board.
1 over sine of x.
All right, good. 1 over sine. So this is 1 over sine. All right, Willie, I don't have to change this one. How come? It's already cosine. If it's sine or cosine, you leave it. If it's not sine or cosine, you change it. It's that simple. So this one states cosine x over 1. Does everybody understand why I wrote it over 1?
Yes.
Okay. Tangent. So Hannah, what can I change tangent into? Look at the board. I change it into sine over cosine.
The answer's 1 again.
Is it?
Yeah, answer's 1 again.
Question. This one? If it's just one word, you can write it over 1.
So don't sine and sine cancel.
All right, so let's see what cancels out. All right, so remember, you can cancel stuff out if it's right on top of each other, or if it's on a diagonal, just not side to side. So I can cancel that sign out with that sign. That cosine with that cosine. Everything got canceled out except what? The 1. So my answer's 1.
I mean, that's a diagonal though.
Well, the 1's cancel out too, so if everything cancels, it's still 1. Yeah. If everything cancels. Now, look, everything canceled. So where'd I get the 1 from? You guys in there and understood 1 in front of all these?
Yeah.
So you always got a 1 left over.
That's absolutely right.
All right, question?
No.
All right, does everybody agree that so far it's pretty easy? All right, 4 and 5 are easy ones. 6 is a little different. Let's look at 6. All right, so Ariana, look at the problem. Which ones do I have to look at the board and change? All right, this one's okay. It's already signed. That one's already cosigned. I got to change that. So I got sine x plus cosine x. Tangent changes into sine over cosine. All right, that's the first step. Now try to cross something out. See what you can simplify. So over here, Chance, what can I cancel out over here? If it's got multiply,
Cosine.
that's right. If it's multiplying between them, guys, you can simplify by crossing stuff out. I can cancel out cosine and
But
cosine.
a plus, you gotta add it.
So I got sine x.
Plus sine of x. Sine x. Sine
Really, that's 1 sine x plus 1 sine x.
2 sine x.
2 sine x.
That's easy.
I know it's okay, 2 sine, but I didn't.
I mean, it's going to get harder. We are doing the easy ones first. But there's going to be a lot of easy ones.
Why is there 1 in the sines?
Which one? Automatically, if you don't see anything in front of it, it's understood to be a 1. So when it's asked you to add, then you do your 1 plus 1, which is 2 sine x. All right, so 6. 7 looks pretty easy. Let's check 7. All right, so when you look at a problem, what's the first thing you're looking for? You're looking to see, can I swap out anything with one of these formulas on my sheet? So I'm thinking this is a good candidate right here for us to swap something out. So Hannah, check your formula sheet. Look and see if you can find 1 plus cotangent squared anywhere.
Right there.
Yep.
Like 7.
All right, so here's what I found on my formula sheet. We're looking for 1 plus cotangent squared. I found cotangent squared plus 1. So that's the same thing, so we can use that. So what do I change that out and make it into? Cosecant squared. Now, do I need to come show anybody where I found that at?
Yes.
Nathan, would you show Willie where that is, please?
Oh, yeah, my God.
So 1 plus cotangent squared is cosecant squared.
Always
Just
wait.
reverse.
All right, yeah, it was just reversed, but that's fine.
That's fine.
All right, now the second thing I got to try to do, Willie, if something's in my problem, if it's not a sine or a cosine, I got to change it. So this is cosecant squared. Well, look, Willie, we don't have a cosecant squared up here, do we? But we got a cosecant. If cosecant equals 1 over sine, then if that's cosecant squared, then that's 1 over sine squared.
Yeah.
So I got to change that out to 1 over sine squared. Did everyone follow that? All right, ready? So what can I cancel? Well, look, Willie, I got 1 sine x here. How many sine x's do I have on the bottom here? I've got 2 because it says sine squared. So I cancel 1 out there and cancel 1 of them out on the bottom. I'm just left with 1 over sine. Now, for your final answer, you want to try to make it into one word if you can. So look on the board. What does 1 over sine turn into? Cosecant. So our final answer for that one is cosecant.
These are easy.
All right, 9 looks pretty easy. Y'all try 9.
No, it's just 1.
No.
It's not?
Week, guys, by Friday you'll be fine. All right, what's next? All right, now we're going back to 3. Now it starts getting a little bit hard. All right, so what's different about number 3? Somebody look at it. What's different about it? Yeah, all right, Willie, this is the first time they got a plus or a minus in the middle. So let me show y'all an example. What if we had 3 over 5 plus 6 over 5? what if we go back to middle school, adding fractions? Do y'all remember how to add that up? Y'all forgot? If it has a common denominator, Ariana, you just leave 5 on the bottom, and then you do 3 plus 6 is 9. So that answer would be 9 over 5.
Yeah.
We're going to do the same thing here.
Whoa.
It's 2 cosine squared x.
Y'all did that back in middle school. So now we're going to just do, since they have a common denominator and both of them have the same thing on the bottom, we're just going to write sine squared on the bottom one time. This is how you're going to do it when it asks you to add or subtract.
And then the top of
If it already has the same common denominator, just bring it down. All right, so Hannah, now I got to bring down 1 minus cosine squared. I can't add that up or subtract it or anything, so just bring it all down, and I'll show you how to finish it from here. I just changed mine to x's. All right, so now, Ariana, now we're going back to our rules, and we're going to look and see if I can change out 1 minus cosine squared for anything.
Sine 2x.
There it is. Where's 1 minus cosine squared at?
About
1
top
minus cosine
left.
squared, change it out for sine squared. So now look what we've got.
Just
We've got sine squared on the top. I've got sine squared on the bottom, so my answer is 1. So just remember, guys, most of these answers are going to end up being one word or just one.
How do you know if there's going to be one?
Okay, what's 5 over 5? They both cancel out and you get a 1. Same thing here. These both cancel out, so it's 1. I just skipped that part. All right, so that wasn't that bad.
I thought you meant like.
All right, let's see what the next one is. All right, the next one's number 8. This one's pretty nasty. Let's try this one.
Why
can't it just be -1?
All right, now, y'all think this one's -1?
Yeah.
No, I wish it was, probably. But it's probably not.
It might be. Let's work it out, guys. If this one's a really, really bad one, I just won't put it on the test.
Yeah.
Okay? Because most of everything I've showed y'all so far has been pretty easy. All right, so what we're going to do, let's check this, Kellen. Is that one of our formulas? Tan squared minus sine squared.
That is 8.
I don't see it up there anywhere.
Why do we talk this?
Because it's in our standards. All right, I don't see that where I can change that out, guys. So, all right, so we'll just do it a different way. I'm going to make tangent squared. I'm going to look right here, and I'm going to change it to sine over cosine. Sine squared over cosine squared. All right, that's my new top. Let me work on this one. If it's bad, I'll just throw it off the test. Don't worry about it. Question. Okay. The bottom, I'm going to change this out too. That's going to be sine squared over cosine squared. And that stays sine squared. Okay, over 1. All right, so I see where we need to go. All right, this is something we need to work on. All right, look back at the last problem we did. Everybody look back at number 3. Y'all see how this one, they already had the same thing on the bottom, so we could just bring it down? I got to find a common denominator up top because of the minus sign, but they don't have a common denominator. So here's what I'm going to have to do. To find a common denominator, look at the bottom, use one of everything on the bottom, just like we did the first of the year. So my common denominator is going to be just cosine squared. All right, now by doing that, something else we did at the first of the year, whatever you pick for your common denominator, we're going to write it here, and we're going to write it here. It's okay.
It isn't bad.
It's okay. If y'all don't like this one, just squash it.
Yeah.
But some people need to see it. All right, now here we go. Let's see what cancels out. These two cancel, right? Which means I can just bring over sine squared on top. All right, nothing cancels here, so I got to write them both down. Minus sine squared cosine squared.
No, just hang on the bottom. Yeah, you can.
Nothing cancels on the bottom, does it, will it? Nope. I can't cross anything out. So I get sine 4. Wow, this one's nasty. Sine 4 over cosine squared.
Wait,
That's a lot of fractions.
All right, now we're going to have to do keep change flips somewhere. All right, anybody got a question before I go to the next step?
Nope.
All right, so again, I'm thinking more and more that I need to get rid of this one off the test. Will it sit in your seat? All right, so if I keep change flip that, okay, look, I got it. Let's go ahead. Anytime y'all have a fraction on top and a fraction on the bottom, we got to get to where we understand we have to do keep change flip. So I'm going to take what's on the bottom. I'm going to flip it, so instead of cosine squared being on the bottom, it'll be on the top. All right, so it's no longer on the bottom. I did my keep change flip. Now what cancels? Cosine squared, right? What do I have left over? Well, I've got sine 4 on the bottom. All right, and what I'm definitely not putting this on the test. What I'm going to do on the top, I'm going to factor out a sine squared. I'm going to get 1 minus cosine squared from that. All right, I think Kellen's going to be right. I think the answer is going to be 1. Or did you say negative 1 a while ago?
I said negative.
All right, Kellen, look for me. Is that one of our formulas? 1 minus cosine squared?
Yes, it is.
I think it is. What is it? That turns into sine squared? Now look, sine squared times sine squared is sine 4 on top.
It's just 1.
And I got sine 4 on the bottom, so all that is just 1. All right, that's a really bad problem. I'm not going to make y'all do that.
All that word just to get 1.
Yeah, that's brutal. I mean, all that, that's nasty.
That's not.
So yeah, we'll just throw that one out.
If I don't know the answer, I'll just put 1 like this.
Ain't it?
Yes.
What's up?
You know Willie? You know Willie?
Get your head up, buddy. Take your head off, buddy.
Willie, take your hood off.
Hey, we don't work.
All right, so let's see about number 10, guys. All right, this one's a good one. This is definitely a good one we can have on the test. All right, so we got secant x minus cosine x. Yeah, I don't think this one's going to be bad. All right, so what can I change up here? Is this the right number 10? Yeah. All right, so Ariana, I can change secant. Remember, if it's not sine or cosine, you got to change it. So that's 1 over cosine. Change that. And that's going to stay cosine over 1. All right, so now this gives us a chance right here, guys, to practice again finding the common denominator, which is something we're going to have to be able to do by Friday. All right, so look at what we've got. What's my common denominator going to be on the bottom? Cosine x. Now, does everybody understand that, or do I need to explain that? Remember, you just look at what's on the bottom. There you go. Good question. I should have said that. We can't cancel these out because it's not times in the middle. So therefore, you have to do the common denominator step. Okay. All right, so here's what you do. Hannah, whatever you write on the bottom, I need you to write right here
That's sine x.
and right here.
No, wait.
And we're going to see what's going to cancel out. All right, so what cancels out on the first fraction? Look, doesn't these cosines cancel? That means I just bring my 1 over. Okay, now look at the second fraction. Nothing cancels here in the bottom, which means, what do I bring over? Cosine times cosine is cosine squared.
So it's just sine squared.
All right, Willie's
Sine
right.
squared, cosine.
Willie says that just turns into sine squared. Now, I'll stop and see if anybody's got a question how Willie did that. That's just one of your formulas. All right, I don't really like this problem. It's not that bad, but I really don't like this one. Let me show you why. Sine squared means I've got sine x times sine x over cosine x. Probably not going to give y'all this one either. Now look, what can I change sine over cosine into? Tangent. So my final answer, I got a tangent x and I got a sine x. Every problem I'm going to give y'all the test chance, it's going to end up being just one trig function, just one word. I don't like getting answers where it's 2. That makes you think you messed up. So I'm probably not going to give you that one when we test it. Go ahead.
Why did you put 1 in parentheses?
Why did I put 1 in parentheses?
Like the one of the signs.
That one?
No.
These two? Oh, that doesn't matter. You could actually put them both in parentheses if you want. Just show it as times. Yeah, so I'm probably cutting that one off the test.
Yay.
All right, so we're finished with the top section. Let's do the bottom now. All right, how is the bottom different?
Equal sign.
All right, every problem now has an equal sign. So what y'all have to do is make the left side of the equal sign be the same as the right side of the equal sign. And I'm going to show y'all certain rules to follow, and it's not going to be that bad. Number 11 is one of the few problems that has a fraction in it, correct? 11 and 13. Okay. Anytime y'all have a fraction in it, I want y'all to cross multiply. That's the best way to do them when you have a fraction in it. Okay? So what do I get when I go this way? When I times those two? Cosine squared. Write it down. All right, now here's definitely something we're going to have to work at. When I go this way, Ariana, I've got 1 plus sine x times 1 minus sine x. Now, I've got to multiply these two together. That is just doing the FOIL method. And we're going to have to get to where, now, hey, I've done this for years. I can look at that. I know what it's going to be. After y'all do it for a couple days, you're going to be able to look at that and know, okay, that's 1 minus sine squared. Okay, but we're going to FOIL it out for the first time. All right, so the left side stays the same, cosine squared. All right, you guys help me. What's 1 times 1?
Where'd you get the 1 plus
All right,
sign?
when I cross multiply, I got to times that one with that one. I just wrote them both down. All right, so 1 times 1 is 1. All right, what's next? 1 times negative sine is just negative sine x. All right, Willie, sine times 1 is positive sine x. And sine times sine is sine squared. All right, so, Willie, I want y'all to memorize from now on when you have one like this, Casey. Look, the minus sine x and the plus sine x, what happens to them? They cancel. So I know it's going to just be 1 minus sine squared by looking at it. And the sooner you guys can figure that out, it's going to make it a lot faster for us. We won't have to FOIL it.
Answer's 1.
The answer's not 1. Close though, Willie. So look, I got 1 minus sine squared left over. What does that turn into?
Cosine 2.
So look, once I have the left side of the equal sign and the right side of the equal sign the same, you can stop.
What? Okay.
All right, so these are different. At the bottom, you're not getting an answer. You're just making the left side equal the right side. And what some kids do every year on a test, they say, hey, you know, it's going to equal, so whatever one side is, they automatically make the other side. Well, you got to show me some work, so I know you just did cheat. Show me one step.
Hey, word. 1 step.
Yep. All right, let's go to 12.
Okay. So.
All right, looks like I got to rewrite 12. So I got plus cosecant plus secant.
Hey, I did.
Sine squared. All right, so now look. This is what I'm saying. We know the right side is secant squared, guys. You can't do this. You can't do secant squared equals secant squared. And you can't say, Coach, I did it all in my head. That's not going to work. You're going to have to show me why it's secant squared. All right, so let's do this. Is this a formula? Cosecant squared plus secant squared. Let's check our sheet. Cosecant squared, no, I don't think so. All right, so we can't cheat on that one. We can't just make it a formula. So we're going to have to distribute. Okay, no problem. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave this as sine squared. What can I change cosecant squared into? 1 over sine squared. And what can I change secant squared into? 1 over cosine squared.
We gotta get as 1 step. Okay.
All right, I see how it's going to work now. Go ahead.
Did you change that to
Okay, remember our rule. If it's not sine or cosine, you got to look at the board and change it. So I took that one, I looked at the board, and I changed it.
Okay, so I see that square.
Yep. So look, if this is cosecant squared, then you make that 1 over sine squared. All right, so now we're going to distribute. All right, watch. What do I get when I times these two together? That sign, I cancel that sign, I get 1. What do I get when I times these two together? Well, I can't cross anything out, so I leave sine squared on top, and I leave cosine squared on bottom.
Tangent x squared.
Oh, I've lost chance.
You kinda lost me.
Okay, so look. What can I change that into? Sine squared over cosine squared.
Tangent x squared.
Sine over cosine is tangent, so sine squared over cosine squared is tangent squared. So look, if I change that to tangent squared, now my work's done, because I'm pretty sure 1 plus tan squared is one of our formulas.
Secant.
So I got secant squared on the left and secant squared on the right.
Hey Joe, you said it had 1 step, didn't you?
Well, I had to show more than one step on that one.
I'm
Ariana.
confused
All right, which
about
part?
the,
But you
We need
said
to
we
distribute.
should.
Okay, do you see how I got 1?
no.
When I multiply sine squared times that fraction, that sign cancels out that sign, I bring down 1.
Okay.
When I multiply sine squared times this fraction, I can't cross anything out, so I put sine squared on top and cosine squared on the bottom, and then I just looked on the board and changed that to tangent squared.
Good.
Hang on, Will. All right, and then that's how I finished. All right, Willie, go ahead.
You said we only show 1 step.
Willie, sometimes you got to show more than one.
But
All right, ready for 13.
Just so you 1 step, I did.
Now, guys, this is our first day doing this. It's going to get easier. A
It
couple
is
things
easy.
we have to work on all week. We have to get better at doing common denominators. But I'm going to make the test easy enough where y'all can at least make a 7.
I did have one 14, 16, that's it.
All right, 13. Why do I have all this written down?